Okay, this is Chapter 9, Multiple Sheet Workbook Management. We are on hands-on exercise number 2. We're going to work with 3D formulas and linked workbooks. We're going to learn how to insert worksheet references, insert 3D formulas, link workbooks, and then complete the linked workbook. So in the beginning of part of the chapter, we're going to be, or the hands-on exercise, we're going to be working with the Indianapolis file. But then towards the latter part of this hands-on exercise, we're going to add 3 more files in as well, and we're going to be working with multiple files at the same time. If you're in the View worksheet and you had the 4 windows open, just go ahead and click the X in the top right corner of 3 of those worksheets so that you only have one version of Indianapolis left. And keep in mind, in the last hands-on exercise, we did some filling across worksheets, and we formatted all the worksheets in a way that we'd like to see them, and we'll go from here. So let's go to the yearly totals tab, and notice we don't have any data in these cells, and this is what we're going to work on doing right now. Let's put our cursor in B3, quarter 1 athletic apparel. So what we're looking for is the total amount for quarter 1 athletic apparel. If we look back in the quarter 1 sheet, the athletic apparel total is in cell E3 of quarter 1. So we need to point to cell E3 in quarter 1. And actually it's very easy to do. So all we have to do is hit the equal sign, go to quarter 1, click on cell E3, and then hit enter. Okay? And there's the $360,294 that we had in the quarter 1 worksheet. And if we look at the formula that's behind it, it just says equals quarter 1, that's the worksheet, and then it has an exclamation point, and then it has the cell. So we'll be working with examples like this. When we get to working with multiple files, it will say the file name first, and then the worksheet name second, and then the cell name third. So it might say South Bend quarter 1 E3. So it will define the file, the worksheet within that file, and the cell within that worksheet. Okay, now we can use the fill to fill in the rest of this particular column. And as I go down, let's look. This one says quarter 1 E4, quarter 1 E5, quarter 1 E6. So this is exactly what we wanted to see. We're getting that summary column from the quarter 1 worksheet. We need to do the same thing with quarter 2 and so on. So let's do the same thing. We'll do equals. We'll go to the quarter 2 worksheet, and we'll point to the department total for athletic apparel, and we'll hit enter. And then quickly we'll do the autofill and repeat the process for the next 2 quarters. Okay, now we have a summary sheet that has quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 athletic apparel and all the rest of the departments. Now we're going to have some summary totals both for quarters in the columns and then department totals in the rows. Okay, let's go ahead and get the sum totals. Now we could just do a sum right here, but I want to show you how to write a 3D formula. So put your cursor in F3, and we're going to start this formula with equals sum. So we're going to be performing a sum. Let's go to quarter 1 and then hold down the shift button and then click on quarter 4. And then click on cell E3. So notice what the formula looks like. Equals sum, the parentheses, quarter 1 through quarter 4 with an exclamation point on E3. So it says pull E3 from all 4 of those sheets and add up those numbers. Let's go ahead and hit enter, and there's our number, 1.3 million, which is the sum of these numbers right there. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a fill, and we're going to fill down the column. Now again, if you look at any of these, it's the sum of quarter 1 through quarter 4 and the appropriate cell. Let's go ahead and just do some quick sums here. We'll just sum those up, B3 through B10. Okay, and we'll get a final summary number. All right, now let's see. What we're going to do is apply accounting number format to B3 through F3. Okay, and we'll go to the Home tab and we'll do accounting number format. Great, and we'll do the same thing for the bottom row just to make sure that we're in accounting. Okay, so we're good there. And B4 through F10, we're going to put it in comma format. Okay, now it doesn't appear there, but this is where it appears right here. It's comma style. Okay, so it'll put commas in the appropriate spots. And we're going to do B11 through F11. We're going to do a top and double bottom border. Okay, and then we're going to type a word down here, and we're going to type quarterly total. Okay, and we're going to apply the same formatting from A2 to A11. Okay, so now we have our summarized worksheet. We've learned how to write a 3D formula, and we have our summarized worksheet for the yearly totals. Okay, now we're going to move on to the step where we link the workbooks, and what we're talking about there is using multiple files. Again, we are in Indianapolis right now. What we're going to do is we're going to open up 3 more files. We're going to open up 2 cities, Bloomington and South Bend, and then we're going to open up the summary sheet, which is called Indiana. So it's often the case for a large business that operates with multiple locations to have sheets that look like the Indianapolis sheet that have a summary of quarters 1, 2, 3, and 4 and their yearly totals, and then to move that to a spreadsheet for a larger region like a state. So all the cities in the state would have their own individual files that would be summarized into one file, and then maybe we summarize those state files into a country file. So we're going to do a lot of summarization, but at the ground level we need each city's file as well. So we're going to open up 3 more files. We're going to open up the South Bend file. So keep in mind I have the South Bend one as well as Indianapolis. I'm going to open up the Bloomington file. Okay, so now I have multiple files open, and then I'm going to open up the Indiana file as well. So now I have 4 files, and notice this has no dollar amounts in it. That's what we're going to do in this hands-on exercise. If we wanted to, we could do a view, arrange all, and tile, and notice that we have South Bend up here in the top right, we have Indianapolis in the bottom right, we have Bloomington in the bottom left, and we have Indiana in the top right. So let's expand the Indiana, so that's on the full screen. Now we have to work with multiple files. So we're going to click in cell B3 of the Indiana file, and we're going to do equals, and this time we're going to point to another file, and we're going to point to the Indianapolis sheet. Okay, that is down here. We're at the yearly totals, and we want athletic apparel. So look at what it says. It has the file name, which is Indianapolis. It has the worksheet name, which is yearly totals, and then it has the cell. And that's what we want. Go ahead and hit enter. Now, we have the ability to fill down, and that's what we're going to do now. Oops, I've made a mistake. I'll show you how I made the mistake. Notice that it is holding this cell constant. It says $F, $3. Let's just make it F3. Okay. Now when we pull this down, we do the autofill. It gives me F4, F5, F6, F7, and so on. So let's do the same thing with Bloomington. I start with an equal sign. I find the Bloomington file. The Bloomington file is here. I go to the yearly total sheet in Bloomington, and I click on athletic apparel in cell F3, and then I hit enter. I go and I modify that so that I get rid of holding that cell absolute, and I hit enter, and then I'm able to do an autofill. I'll do the same thing with South Bend. Equals, I find the South Bend sheet, which is in the top right. I go to the yearly totals and click on F3 and hit enter, and I go ahead and modify that appropriately, and then I autofill. Alright, so now I'm going to maximize the Indiana one. I have all of the yearly totals from each of the cities. Now I'm just going to quickly summarize all of those. There's no need to do anything in particular. Over here, I'm going to hit equals sum B3 through D3, and I'm going to drag this one down. Okay, and then down here in cell B11, I'll do the same thing. From the home tab, I'll do a sum B3 through B10, and then I'll drag over. Okay, and notice that once we've done all that, our grand total from all three cities is 27,359,000. Okay. Now if we wanted to, we could also do a little bit of formatting. We'll do a top and double bottom border for that. And it looks pretty good. It looks exactly how we want it to work. We could do, if we wanted to, B4 through E10 in comma format, kind of offsets everything. So we have accounting format at the top and the bottom, and comma format in the middle. Okay, go ahead and save this file. We're done with hands-on exercise number 2 of Chapter 9.